Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai. We do this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8, and it's recorded and put on our website, kauaidharma.org. I'm Lama Tashi, and the whole purpose of this Thursday night class is to help people improve their practice on both the sutra and tantric level of Tibetan Buddhist tradition, which we call shamanistic Lamaism. Everything that we do is about healing, and it's more than just a systematic or an approach to the symptoms of disease. So we're treating this physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually all at the same time. And what's important about Tibetan Buddhist practice is you're treating the cause, the karmic cause of pain and suffering, which is what the Buddha taught 2,600 years ago and was taught through India and passed into Tibet and now is global. So what we are doing is being done all over the planet. And the guidance is by lamas who are trained in the two natures of mind. The one nature we all do, one nature everybody knows, it's called the drama nature, or the relative mind. The other nature of the mind you have to learn, and that's where the shamanistic practices of Tibetan Buddhism are treating the cause and the symptoms of dis-ease, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual dis-ease. I treat that as two words. So when we do these practices, you're in a special program that's called Bodhisattvaism, or I call it Bodhisattva Training School. And what's nice about Bodhisattva Training School, or using these methods, is everything is useful. Everything. Good. People say some things are good, some things are bad. No. Everything is useful. Some people say there's supernatural this and that. No. Everything is natural. Some people say everything is inferior or low or subordinate. No, everything is even. So with those changes of the consciousness, bringing it into what we call a central location, the practices or methods are to very slowly and deliberately, with the individual's involvement and the guidance of the Lama, move from the drama mind, which is the cause of pain and suffering, into the other nature of their mind, which is innate. Everybody has it already. You can't find it outside except in the natural world. And the natural world isn't going to be the teacher of that. You need to have a human guidance teacher that knows what it is, has realized it, and how to use it. And that's it. One of my good friends, teacher, spiritual friend is Lama Tempa in Honolulu. And he's the director of Honolulu Dharma Center. And he and Lama Rinchen have been in retreat for months, taking advantage of the quarantines and so forth. But the other day he mailed to Abby, my wife, and myself, two what they call yantras in Tibet. And no explanation, they just showed up in the mail, and they each have a string on them. One side is 5-colored thread, all kind of square. The other side, somehow he was able to take that same thread and make it into triangular shapes. And I asked him about that, and he says, well, one side is for the peaceful approach, and the other side is for the wrathful or protector approach. And what he says is in it are mantras that tell spirits to help you not catch a virus. Well, there's 170 million viruses, and they've been around for hundreds or thousands of years. And everybody on the planet comes in contact with them. And of course, there are varying degrees of disease connected to every virus. The most common one we know is the cold, common cold, or the flu, which is another virus. But the one we're dealing with today is more virulent than any experienced before in the human condition. So he said he made these up with special mantra to communicate to the spirits of the person who uses this to protect them and help them with their karmic discrepancies that would cause underlying conditions or outer conditions to cause this sickness to take hold in the individual. So one for me and one for Abby. They're called yantras. Yantras can be of any kind of picture or mantra or symbol, for instance, the Siso Bahum, connected to your physical body somehow, some way, either your clothing or like this, an amulet. Sometimes they put them in, they call them gauze, a box. Some of them could be relics. There's all kinds. This one, he says, you can wear it or put it on your shrine. So I've put it in Tara's hand on the shrine. I could wear it. In fact, I'll put it on. Then I'm going to read one of the mantras that's inside so that all of you can have some effect, protection from the spirit energy that we karmically have to deal with every day, all the time. And actually, that's what shamanism is all about. And the mantra is Om Padma Shawari Pe Ne Parshig Nanga Neni Tadyata Sarwarvirita Hana Hana Vajrarena Raksha Raksha Soha. Now the mantra is actually in three parts. One for the body, one for your inner, what we call nadi system or spiritual body, and one for your mind. And of course, all of this influences your speech. So we're talking about body, speech, and mind. Om Pema Shawari Pe, that's for the body. Om Nena Parshig Nanga Neni, that's for the internal spiritual transition we're going through with these practices. Empower. Sarva Virita Hana Hana Vajrarena Raksha Raksha Soha. That's for the mind. The mind of transition, the mind that's of ordinary being transitioning into the mind of a bodhisattva, and eventually into the mind of a fully mature human being we call Buddha. And all of us are potential Buddhas. And they say, always say, try to say 3 times. So one more. Om Pema Padma Shawari Pe Ne Parshig Naga Neni Tadyata Sarvarvirita Hana Hana Vajrarena Raksha Raksha Soha. And may that not only provide protection to everybody that hears it, especially to the spirit world, that we be kind and considerate on all levels of involvement with ourselves, others, and the natural world. Now we'll take refuge. The first part of the refuge is the altruistic motivation. I'll chant it once in Tibetan, then we'll say it in English. In Dag dong jo wa nam ke ta dong yam te sem chem tam che du di ne jum te ji si chen chu ning po la chi ki bardu. In English, in order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now altogether take refuge and, when possible, offer prostration. Then we'll say the refuge prayer. Dalden lama dampa nam la chapsu chiyo yidam chokor la jo nam la chapsu chiyo sanjay chon dende nam la chapsu chiyo Dampe chur nam la chapsu chiyo Paute gendu nam la chapsu chiyo Pawo kandro chokyo sume sho yeshe ki shendon Tempa nam la chapsu chiyo. And the Bodhisattva prayer. Sanjay Chodam Choki Chodam La Jang Chu Bardu Dagni Chapsu Chi Dagi Jetso Chi Pe Sonam Ki Jola Penjur Sanjay Drupar Sho. In English. We go for refuge to all the glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all the yidams, who are the deities gathered in our mandalas of practice. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered their mind and become mature. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma. All of these possessing the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit gained from practicing the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Now, those 2 prayers, the refuge prayer and the Bodhisattva prayer, called Bodhicitta, are all altogether based on the motivation prayer. So the motivation is the theme of those 2. But the first part, the 6 refuges, the 3 jewels and the 3 roots of Tantra, that's our support system. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. All Buddhas have that, regardless of tradition. But Lama, deity, and protector, or Dakini, that's the theme of shamanism of Tibetan Buddhist practice that pervaded India and Tibet, and all the Himalayan countries, and parts of China, Western China, Mongolia, Afghanistan, and part of Russia. So all of this methods were developed in the Indian tradition and then translated and redeveloped or reused in the Tibetan system of practice and what we call lineage, or transferring of the energy or the power of the healing of these practices to others. And it's worldwide, it's global. For instance, I'll give you an example. My daughter lives in New Zealand, on North Island in New Zealand, and she found 5 Kagyu centers in North Island, of which she just finished a retreat, 2-week retreat in one of them. The point being is you can go anywhere, almost anywhere, and find a center or group called Sangha that's doing these practices. And even in countries where they have Theravada Buddhism, like Thailand and China and other countries, they have this method. Here on Kauai Island, we have 10 Japanese Buddhist temples with teachers. And we call that the Kauai Buddhist Council. But since I'm a teacher of Buddhist, I'm part of that council. They asked me to be part of it. Now, when we do these practices, they blend with every tradition of healing, not just spiritual, not just religious, but the relative methods that are everywhere available. And they're all useful. So tonight we're going to use the relative approach with the 3 lights breathing practice. And from that practice, that'll be the foundation, the introduction, the basis. Then we'll do one of the 5 elements healing practice. We start with the back straight, head slightly tilted, hands in a comfortable position, on your knees or in your lap, eyes opened. You can soften your gaze so it's not too much stress coming in your eye. Tongue against the palate, and if possible, breathing through the nose. So we'll do just that for a few moments. You're disciplining yourself by bringing your focus, your awareness to your breath. On the inhale, as the diaphragm expands, and the exhale as it contracts. This discipline of focusing on the breath is taught with all traditions, martial arts, Tai Chi, and so forth. But it is especially useful for people starting to meditate. It helps them to take their distraction away from worldly situations of the day and causes them to settle into a state of peacefulness. The next step is to use the mental process of imagination. We use the term visualizing, which is used through all the shamanistic practices of the Sutra and Tantric tradition. But in this relative healing practice, it's just so that one can start to use the symbols of the earth, water, fire, air, and space as actual healing applications, healing tools. And so what we do is we imagine the breath to be colored or coded with the inhale of air coming in, which possesses all 5 elements, as light filling just the lungs. Then the second breath, or we say merging breath, middle breath, is visualized as red light flashing through the entire body, through every cell. Then we bring these two together and exhale what is called the healing breath, out the nose as blue light visualized to space. In other words, all pervasive, going everywhere. And this all pervasive breath is actually what we call the Dharmakaya breath. Because the mind is not limited. It doesn't have a structure. You can't find it inside, outside, or any place, but it exists. How do you know it exists? Because it can think of everything. That's the Dharmakaya. So this breath of blue light is a healing breath going everywhere in space, is actually all pervasive, available to every sentient being. So breathe like that. Inhale white light, fill your lung. Red light flashing through your body. Is the middle breath. And 2 together, blue light out the nose to space. By keeping your imagination, your focus in that way together with the breathing, you're bringing the physical and mental together just as you are. And it's called absorption, or meditative absorption. It's kind of like the middle breath. It takes all the 5 elements and absorbs them through your physical entity, your body. And then because of that, it's available for infinite beings throughout space when you exhale, in the animal and plant world. One of the perks of this breathing technique is it causes you not only to remove yourself from the worldly activities and distractions of the day, but by doing that, you cause a state of peace and tranquility to occur in your mind-body complex. This becomes the platform for healing. And when you feel that state of peace and tranquility taking hold, then you can take your mind off of the breathing, off the breath, and combine the 3 lights into a particle of light and center it in your chest, in the middle of the chest, in the body. Now this is a point of placement to move you into the foundation of all healing, which treats the cause, which is the mother principle of space itself, or simply the luminosity that pervades boundless space. And for a few moments, release your focus from the particle and relax in space. All the particles of space as light are interconnected. And that is the relative nature of the universe's energy program. And by experiencing that, you know you're interconnected to everybody and everything in the entire universe. And that all of that is your life support system. And this feeds your intelligence. Then, with that kind of intelligence, you again invent the particle, visualize it in the center of your chest, and start the practice of the 5 elements healing. Focusing on the particle, visualize it to expand to a tiny sphere, a very small sphere of clear light. The nature, the 3-dimensional nature of our world universe. Then expand that slowly until it creates one of the symbols of the 5 elements. They're equal, but each has its own application for healing. They're equal in that they treat the cause, the symptoms of disease. And they can be integrated into other healing modalities. So for instance, tonight we'll pick the air element, which is all about action, activity. And it's visualized as a half sphere of green light, and try to keep it no bigger than the size of your thumbnail, located in the center of your chest, which when you put that bindu, that particle there, you created a chakra energy center connecting to the energy of the entire universe. So that's the nature of this element also. It is universal. Then with your imagination, you visualize that half sphere of green light labeled air to move out in front of your body and up before your eyes, 2 feet in front. Then imagine it to grow in size like a room that you can see your body sitting inside, this half sphere of green light with a lid or ceiling. And in this way, you are psychically producing a healing energy application for your whole physical system, just as you are. Sitting, laying down, standing, moving. It is being produced by your power of your mental process, your visualization, but at the same time it's being produced by the Dharmakaya nature of your mind, this unlimited aspect of awareness. Then expand it in size to completely enclose. For us, this island of Kauai, and for others, the area where they are doing this meditation, city, town, countryside, wherever, all of that inside this half sphere of green light. And by this, you are sharing the physical, mental, spiritual energy of this practice with all the beings in that locale. Then expanded in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere of air. Which in the present time is becoming more and more pure. In fact, the whole natural world of Mother Earth is experiencing better health. It's the best way to put it. Improved health, ecologically. Then expanded in size to completely enclose our entire solar system. The sun, the planets, everything for billions of miles enclosed in this half sphere. Then expanded in size to completely enclose our galaxy. The mother of all the planets, suns, and everything for 100,000 light years in diameter. Then move beyond your conceptual mind and without any meditation or visualization, rest in space, which is to say you merge this symbol with boundless space. And because it's infinite, there is no center. Simply relax, be present, and by doing this, you are improving the capacity to intelligently experience and understand the mind's true nature. Where there is no such thing as an I, me, or mine. ego doesn't exist here. Then return from this state of spatial awareness and again discipline your mind by inventing the half-sphere healing symbol of air to enclose the galaxy. Meditate on it to enclose just our solar system. Smaller and smaller, visualizing it to just enclosing Mother Earth. Then again, this island of Kauai, surrounding ocean, everything inside, or the area where you are meditating, inside. Then much smaller to just enclose your physical body. Taking the full life support and healing energy of the universe into your form. The whole universe is like a mother supporting your life. Every single breath. And finish the practice by returning the half sphere green light to in front of your eyes. Bring it to chest level into your heart chakra. Shrink it to the tiny clear light sphere of light, and smaller and tinier till it reduces to the particle similar to an atom, which blends with the luminosity of space, light itself, energy. Relax, be present, and joyful. In the spatial awareness of your own mind. No drama here. To finish, bring your awareness to in front of your eyes and spread it into your, share it in your area of practice. And as always, dedicate the merit to infinite sentient beings, your mother. The merit is the virtue developed by the discipline of the practice. And it can't be wasted if you share it with infinite sentient beings. It can't dissipate. Even though this is a relatively easy method for learning meditation and healing, and can be blended with any other type of healing modality or practice, because of its universal application with space at the beginning, the middle, and the end, it promotes your Buddha nature. And you don't have to be a Buddhist. It just promotes that intelligent aspect of your consciousness that wants to realize the ultimate kind nature of everything. And that term kindness is based on the unconditional sharing of that from your heart with limitless sentient beings. And of course, those that you have relationship in this life with this human state of existence. When you move into meditation, because of its nature, there are many obstacles. And I say that because it's I meditating. I can meditate. Whoopee. And so right away, you're actually setting up a separating factor from everybody else that can't meditate. And there are perks, lots of perks with this ability. But it's a karmic situation that if you have any inclination to meditate or do meditate voluntarily, like some people from childhood, or all of a sudden start to do this practice, you need guidance. Because what happens when you meditate is the I wants to be the meditator. Duh. But that's not appropriate. And that's why we start with this 5 elements practice from space, because in space there's no, this other nature, the universe doesn't operate that way. The universe isn't an I, me, mine program. There's no ego in universe. You know, we invent this. And we're inventing it on the premise that it is being created, that it is either self-creating or created, which the universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't create anything. It's an interconnection of infinite entities coming together that cause things to appear, either in consciousness or in nature, in the world itself. And therefore, there's no basis. You can't find the beginning, the middle, or the end of that process. That's what we call the natural mind, which is a state of voidness, like space. Everything comes out of space, everything goes back to space. Your thoughts come out of space, go back to space. If you search for the beginning of all that, you'll never find it. No Buddha ever found it. And Buddhas are the most intelligent of human. And all Buddhas are humans. And all the deities that we use, such as what I'm showing here, this is Chenrezig and Tara in union, are living beings. They're not fabrications, you know. Like when I was a Hindu, you imagine these various deities and you fabricate them and then you identify them as who you are, which is ridiculous. Because where are you going to go with that? You know? You cause more separation. How? Because you become arrogant. I'm this high and mighty being. And what's worse, if you die with that kind of belief, then you evolve into that in the spirit world. And then the spirit world, everything in the spirit world is impermanent. It might be fun for a while, but what goes around comes around. There is no such thing as permanent existence. There's permanent creation. But when it comes to spirits, animals, and humans, no matter celestial or hell or any kind of animal or human, man or woman, we're impermanent. There's a beginning, middle, and end to that condition. That's what we call conditioned existence. And there are 6 kinds of conditioned existences that we move through emotionally. And so we need to have a guide to keep the arrogance, which is a horrible affliction, and you can see it by watching the news, how bad it can get. Arrogance, pride. And when you move it into these high and mighty belief systems, you have to have somebody to tell you when the arrogance arises, because you won't know, you know? And that's the law. And whenever you call the deity's name, Chenrezig, Tara, Lama Rinchen, Lama Tempa, Dalai Lama, Karmapa, my Guru Lama, Rangjung Kunkab, Kala Rinpoche, Kala Yansi Rinpoche. Whenever you call the name of these lamas or deities, they're there. They're not in one of those 6 states of conditioned existence. Bodhisattvas don't do that. That doesn't make them extraordinary or divine. It just makes they're a healing energy, as they are, available to every living being. That's the Bodhisattva's trip. So when we do Chenrezig, or tonight we're actually going to use this as Vajrasattva, we have 5 what we call Dhyana Buddha programs to handle all the 5 states of emotional conflict, of which there are thousands in each of those 5 categories. But all of them are based on fear, anxiety, and depression, stemming from the belief of a self existing separately from everything and everyone else, with a complete lack of unconditional loving kindness. And worse, the interest and well-being of everybody and everything else, or having heartfelt compassion. That's Bodhisattva. That's how we determine what a Bodhisattva he or she is. By this development of this unconditional loving kindness program and the altruistic motivation that is to be directed to every living sentient being in the spirit world, animal world, and human. That makes it simple. Intelligence-wise, it's easy to understand it. Now we're going to do it. Now this Bodhisattva symbol of Chenrezig and Tara is the basis of all the Sutra and Tantra tradition. This was taught to me by the Dalai Lama. That's why I have this picture. He gave me this. When he gave it to me, it was about this size. So I had the good fortune to have a machine that would blow it up to this size and print it. So Chenrezig is in the Lotus family, which is one of the 5 Dhyana Buddhas, and Tara is in the Lotus family as we call the red Tara, Pema or Vajrayogini. But when you move to the Vajra family, you're moving into the Lotus family is all about discerning with your intelligence what to do and how to do it. And why? This is about inseparability of everything interconnected into you as indestructible. That's Vajra, that's the word Vajra. Indestructible awareness. And you want that in your meditation practice with that, to remove obstacles to meditation. So we do this practice of Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini in union with a special mantra, visualization, and application. And so we're going to do that now, and we're going to use the 100-syllable mantra. So if you have a text or you know the mantra, you have to read it, get it out. And sit with your back straight, eyes open, hands comfortable, mouth closed, head tilted. Breathe. The empowerment for this practice is simple. You visualize the Lama in front, any Lama. Tonight we have this one. And from the Lama's forehead, white light comes into your forehead. This is the empowerment, that the transformation of you, your ordinary body, into that of the rainbow body of the deity, actualizing, takes place. Then you visualize red light from the Lama's throat to your throat. This empowers the mantra of the deity to produce the healing effect. In this case, remove all obstacles to spiritual practice, specifically meditation. Number 3, you visualize blue light from the Lama's heart chakra to your chakra as the wisdom empowerment to affect your intelligence to accept the reality that you have, you're indestructible and there are no limitations. That everything that is arising appropriately. And that's for your mind. And by the use of this practice, you receive the 4th empowerment of union of visualizing those 3 lights shining simultaneously and the Lama moving into you like water into water. At that moment, you become Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, if you're using both deities, or you can be just Vajrasattva, which is how the monks and nuns usually do it. But regardless, the 3 lights are now entertained inside your body. The white light is with the sound Om in your head, the red light Ah in your throat, sound Ah in your throat, and the blue light with the sound Hum in your heart chakra. You visualize all those 3 come together in the heart chakra. So the white light moves down into the red in the throat, those 2 together into the Hum in your heart chakra. Now the Hum becomes the creation sound of Vajrasattva, which is on the back of this book. Okay? Learn to draw the home. It's a stacked sound. It's Ha in the middle, U at the bottom, and M at the top, H-U-M. And it summarizes the body, speech, and mind as an infinite healing energy program available to all the realms of sentient beings, all the 4 realms of the spirit and all the humans and animals, wherever they take birth on the planet. And the deity of in union, she is one of the 5 seed solubles. In this case, we have the red tar, so we'll say the wrong, which looks like this. So we have these 2. It could be any of the 5 seed solubles, but tonight we're going to use this visualization. Now, when you have these seed solubles and the deities together in your situation, then you send 3 colors of light, white, red, and blue, out to all the lamas of your tradition. Specifically, your root lama or lineage head lama, but it could be any teacher of this Sutra Tantra tradition. Then that light connects to all the lineage teachers going back all the way to 2,600 years to Shakyamuni Buddha. And all of that spiritual energy comes back into you. So that's called the ultimate empowerment or the action empowerment. Then you can start the practice. And how does this work is you're going to be the primary emanation of the mind of the teacher, of the guru. And then everybody is Vajrasattva. All the animals, your mother in front becomes Vajrasattva, all your relatives Vajrasattva. All the spirit world, all the animal world, you create a mandala in your mind, just like you do with the Chenrezig or Tara practice. Then you take the imaging of you as the deity and place it above your head in devotion and respect to your teacher, which resides here as Vajradhara. And this is the all-encompassing aspect of that Buddha field of indestructibility, the Vajra family, Aksobhaya Buddha, which is the Buddha over my right shoulder, this Buddha. Now you visualize the light coming back in, and the mantra appears as 100 syllables of devotion and honor, but also empowering. These 100 syllables represent 100 deities. And they fill up this Vajrasattva or Vajrasattva in union, both of them together with light. Then the light filling them comes out their place of union down into your head and fills this part of your body. And this is to clear all mental impairments that might be obstacles to meditation that have come up through this and previous life, up to this moment. Then the throat, all vocal, unnecessary speech, angry speech, all kind, purified. Then the heart, all the mind, mental projections, everything harmful, angry, abusive. Then all incidents of misuse of power, so the navel, and then sex chakra, all the negative sexual aspect, physical, mental, emotional, all of that, spiritual. All of that is contained within your body. Your thinking put it there. Your previous karma, previous life brought the tendencies forward to this life. They're there. So this practice of using this energy of the shamanistic practice of Vajrasattva is to push it out. It becomes like sludge, bugs, however you want to think of it, on the surface of your body, out through the pores, out through the orifices, and streams down into the earth, and immediately converts to nectar and food for the beings living in the earth, nagas, animals, and so forth. This is the practice. And you keep doing this practice over a long period of time until you can feel the change. You can feel it in your physical, your mind's mental, more relaxed, more kind thoughts, more and more desiring to do practice, connecting with the teachers and so forth. So again, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini. Those two, or just Om Vajrasattva. Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Tikta Trido Me Bawa, Suto Kayo Me Bawa, Supo Kayo Me Bawa, Anurato Me Bawa, Sarwar Siddhi, Mantra Yatsa, Sarwar Karma, Susame, Chitam Sriyam, Guru Om, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan. Sarvar Tatha Gata, Vajra Mame Mutsa, Vajra Bhava, Maha Samaya Sattva Ah. That's the first one of 111,111 recitation. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Dikta Jito Me Bhava, Suto Kayo Me Bhava. Supokayo me bawa, Manurato me bawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa, Sarva Karma Susam, Chitsam Sriyam Guru Om, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajra Bawa, Ma Samaya Sattva Ah. Om Vajragani Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Tikta Jito Me Bawa, Suto Kayo Me Bawa, Supo Kayo Me Bawa, Anurato Me Bawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa, Sarva Karma Susame, Sisam Sriyam Guru Om, Ha Ho, Bhagawan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramami Mutsa, Vajrabha, Mahasamaya Sattva Ah. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Tikta Jito Me Bawa, Suto Kayo Me Bawa, Supo Kayo Me Bawa, Anurato Me Bawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa, Sarva Karma Susame, Sisam Sriyam Guru Om, Ha Ha Ho, Bhagawan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramami Mutsa, Vajrabhava, Mahasamaya Sattva Ah. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Dikta Jito Me Bawa, Suto Kayo Me Bawa, Supo Kayo Me Bawa, Anurato Me Bawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa, Sarva Karma Susame, Sisam Sriyam Guru Om, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sarva Tathagata, Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Tikta Jito Me Bawa, Suto Kayo Me Bawa, Supo Kayo Me Bawa, Anurakta me bhava, sarva siddhi mantrayasa, sarva karma susame, sisam shriya guru Sukto kayo me bhava, Sukto kayo me bhava, Anurakta me bhava, Sarva siddhi mantra yasa, sarva karma susam me, sisam shriya guru Om ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Musa Vajra Bhava Vajra Sapa Deno Bhava Tita Jita Me Bhava Sutta Kaya Me Bhava Sukha Kaya Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantraya Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sisam Shriya Guru Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sapa Om Vajra Gini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manu Bhavaya Vajra Sapa Deno Bhava Dita Jita Me Bhava Sudha Kaya Me Bhava Sukha Kaya Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa Sarva Karma Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Musa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajra Gini Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhava Tita Jita Me Bhava Sutta Kaya Me Bhava Sukha Kaya Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantraya Sarva Karma Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Om Ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Vajra Gini Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhava Dita Jita Sudha Kaya Me Bhava Sukha Kaya Me Bhava Anurakta Me Sarva Siddhi Mantraya Sarva Karma Susam Sisam Shriya Guru Om Ha 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 Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva the sound of the energy of all this pervading your body, pushing out all negative, all blockages, opening all the nadis, all the spiritual transmission energies, systems throughout your entire form. All of that to the benefit of all living beings, so it's not wasted. It goes down into the earth, becomes nectar, food. Then you return to the Lama's mind of purification of these two being all of the energy of all the Sutra and Tantric tradition, all the five Dhyana Buddha family. Everything is the support for everything you're going to do with these practices. Taking refuge, purification, making offerings, and all the forms of Guru Yoga. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Deno Bhava Dita Jita Me Bhava Sutta Kaya Me Bhava Supo Kaya Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantraya Sarva Karma Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Musa Vajra Mahasamaya Sattva Vajra Gini Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Tika Jita Me Bhava Sutta Kaya Me Bhava Sukha Kaya Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantraya Sarva Karma Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Om Ha 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 Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mahasamaya Sattva Vajra Gini Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Sita Jito me Baba, Suju Gayo me Baba, Suju Gayo me Baba, Honorata me Baba, Zava Jani Jaya, Java Gama Susa me, Susa Jaya Guru Bhagavan, Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Vajra Vajra Bhava Samaya Sapa Ahom Vajra Gini Vajra Sapa Samaya Vajra Sapa Jino Vajra Honorata me Baba, Sarvata Gata Vajramami Vaja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Samaya Ahom Vajra Savateno Bhadi Vajra Me Bhavan Vajra Me Bhavan Sarva Siddhi Vajaya Sarvata Gata Vajramami Vaja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Vajra Gani Vajra Samaya Anupalaya Vajrasattva Bhati Tajino Meva Sarva Siddhi Madhyayasa Sarva Karma Susamaya Sasamshriya Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Vajra Vajra Samaya Sarva Vajragani Vajra Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Bhati Tajino Meva Sarva Siddhi Madhyayasa Sarva Karma Susamaya Sasamshriya Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Samaya Sattva Om Vajragani Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Bhati Tajino Meva Sudokaya Meva Sudokaya Meva Anuragya Meva Sarva Siddhi Metta Yasa Sarva Karma Susami Sisam Sriyam Guru Om Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajragani Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Bhati Tajino Meva Sudokaya Meva Sudokaya Meva Anuragya Meva Sarva Siddhi Metta Yasa Sarva Karma Susami Sisam Sriyam Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sapa Om Vajragani Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Bhati Tajino Meva Sudokaya Meva Anuragya Meva Sarva Siddhi Metta Yasa Sarva Karma Susami Sisam Sriyam Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sapa. So as the mantra comes down and fills your body, it removes all anger, all arrogance, all ignorance, all, all jealousy, and all attachment, all of it, out. Om Vajragani Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Bhati Tajino Meva Sudokaya Meva Sudokaya Meva Anuragya Meva Sarva Siddhi Metta Yasa Sarva Karma Susami Sisam Sriyam Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Vajragani Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Bhati Tajino Meva Sudokaya Meva Sudokaya Meva Sour City, Mentayas, Sour Garments, Amazes, and Chicago. Sour Tata God of Vajra, Moment, Vajra, Power, Manas, and Vajra, Gini, Vajra, Sava, Samaya, Mano Balaya, Vajra, Sava, Deno, Vajra, Tito, Zudu, Gaya, Mano Rakta, Meva, Vajra, Sour City, Mentayas, Sour Garments, Amazes, and Chicago. Oh, Bhagavan, Sarvatata Gata, Vajramana, Vajra, Power, Manas, Samaya, Sava, Om Vajra, Gini, Vajra, Sava, Samaya, Sava, Deno, Gata, Sudo Gaya Me Bhava, Subho Gaya Me Bhava, Anurata Me Bhava, Sarva Siddhi Metta Yasa Sarva Brahma Susame, Sisam Shriya Guru Om Bhagavan, Sarva Tata Gata, Vajra Mami, Vajra Bhava, Samaya, Sarva Om Vajra Gini, Vajra Sava, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajra Sava, Dena, Dita, Jita Me Bhava, Sudo Gaya Me Bhava, Sudo Gaya Me Bhava, Anuraja Veva Wana Zava Jati Mantaya Zava Sesame Sesame Bhagavan Zava Jata Gata Vajra Vajra Samaya Sava Om Vajra Gani Vajra Sava Samaya Mana Pamaya Vajra Sava Deva Vajra Sudha Gaya Veva Shubho Gaya Veva Wana Anuraja Veva Wana Zava Jati Mantaya Zava Sits on tree on cool home. Om Vaju Gani Vaju Sapa Samaya Manu Pamaya Vaju Sapa Vaju Sapa Gaya Vipama Suku Gaya Vipama Anurata Vipama System Tree of Boo Home Vaju Baba Mazamaya Safa Home Vaju Gani Vaju Sapa Samaya Manu Pamaya Vaju Sapa Tikta Drita Meva Wa Sudukai Sudukai Meva Wa Anaraka Meva Wa Sarva Chedi Metra Yasa Sarva Susa Me System Shri Hu Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Kata Vajranami Vajrabhava Maha Samaya Sapa Om Vajragani Vajra Sapa Samaya Manu Pamaya Vajra Sapa Deno Suto Gaya Meva Wa Supo Gaya Meva Wa Anurakta Meva Wa Sarva Siddhi Menta Yasa Sarva Karma Susa Me Sesam Juya Guru Sarva Tata Kata Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sapa Om Vajragani Vajra Sapa Samaya Manu Pamaya Vajra Sapa Deno Suto Gaya Meva Wa Supo Gaya Meva Wa Anurakta Meva Wa Sarva Siddhi Menta Yasa Sarva Karma Susa Me Sesam Juya Guru Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Kata Vajra Mami Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sapa Now you can be confident that all your negativity is being forced out, tendencies, all of your blockages of your spiritual nadis, of which there are 72,000 of these coming off of each chakra through your body, through your legs, feet, arm, hair, hands, everything. All of this energy, negative energy out and sluicing off the body down into the earth as offerings, food, nectar to the beings living there, your relative. Om Vajragani Vajrasapa Samaya Manu Pamaya Vajrasapa Deno Bhati Sajita Meva Wa Suda Gaya Meva Wa Supa Gaya Meva Wa Anurata Meva Wa Sarva Siddhi Menta Yasa Sarva Karma Susame Sisam Chiyam Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramani Vajra Maha Samaya Sapa Om Vajrayogini Vajrasapa Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasapa Deno Bhava Dikta Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Mevawa, Supo Kayo Mevawa, Anurakto Mevawa, Sarwar Siddhi Memja Yatsa, Sarwar Karma Sutsam, Sitsam Sriyam Guru, Hum, Ha 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 Ha, Oh, Bhagawan, Sarwar Tata Gata, Vajra Mame Mutsa, Vajra Bhava, Maha Samaya, Sattva, Ha. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasatva Samaya Palaya Vajrasatva Deno Va Tika Jito Meva Va Suto Kayo Meva Va Supo Kayo Meva Va Anurakto Meva Va Sarvar Siddhi Memcha Yatsa Sarvar Karma Susam Sitsam Sriyam Guru Om Ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarvar Tattva Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Vajra Vini Vajra Sattva Samaya Manu Bhavaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhadita Yuta Me Bhava Suto Gayo Me Bhava Supo Gayo Me Bhava Anurata Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjaya Tower Karma Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Om Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Vajra Vini Vajra Sattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhadita Jita Me Bhava Sutta Gaya Me Bhava Sutta Gaya Me Bhava Anurata Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Sitsam Sriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajra Geni Vajra Sattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhagita Jito Me Bhava Sutta Sutta Me Bhava Anurata Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjayasa Sarva Sutta Me Sitsam Sriyam Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Vajra Bhava Samaya Sattva Om Vajra Geni Vajra Sattva Samaya Vajra Vajra Sattva Deno Vajra Me Bhava Supo Gayo Me Bhava Anuragam Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjayasa Sarva Karma Susam Sisam Sriyam Guru Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajra Geni Vajra Sattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhagita Jito Me Bhava Sutta Gaya Me Bhava Sutta Gaya Me Bhava Anurata Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjayasa Sarva Karma Susame Sisam Sriyam Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajra Geni Vajra Sattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajra Sattva Deno Bhagita Jito Me Bhava Sutta Gaya Me Bhava Sutta Gaya Me Bhava Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sisam Sriya Guru Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Te. And when you say that Hum Te at the end of your session, I did one round approximately, whatever, you bring the two deities down into you. You become Vajrasattva, or if in union, Vajrasattva Vajrayogini, with the C syllables Hum and Ram. And then you say the short mantra connecting those two C syllables, and the energy fills your body, both deities, you're both of them now, and goes out to all sentient beings in space who are also Vajrasattva, or Vajrasattva and Vajrayogini in union, however you're doing it. All the animal world, all the spirit world, all the human world, everybody you have karma with. And you say this connecting mantra, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, 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 Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te. Say this many times as you said the long mantra in this session. Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, 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 Ram Hum Te, Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om 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 Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum 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 Te, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Ram Hum Te, Om Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, Ram Hum Te. Okay. And you finish by having all sentient beings as Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, in whatever form, whatever color code, blue, green, white, red, yellow, whatever color code, whatever Dhyana Buddha family, infinite in number, filling your mind. filling space, inseparable. Actual and imagined, equal, they're the same. In all of these, as the embodiment of all sentient beings in the purified state coming into you from every direction, like rain into a lake. And you, as the central figure, Vajrasattva or Vajrasattva in union, disappear into the mantra in your heart center. The mantra syllables circling the seed solid disappear into the home. The Ram disappears into the home. The home in a five-color sphere of light shrinks to a tiny particle of light in your heart center and merges with the luminosity of space. In this totally purified condition of unconditional, timeless awareness, simply relax in the present moment and hold to that timeless position of ultimate awareness, combining clarity, voidness, and intelligence with compassion, insight, and power. No meditation. Keep to the present moment in a state of joy and bliss. Thoughts are only thoughts. Physical sensations are only physical sensation. Experiences are only experiences. They all come and they all disappear. Do not attach to any of this. Relax in your own limitless, timeless, unfabricated awareness. When you move out of this accomplishment state of timeless awareness, the unfabricated state, then you recreate your mandala of whatever yidam practice you are performing or using post-meditationally, Tara, Chenrezig, whoever. And proceed on to do post-meditational worldly activities, or like we're going to do tonight, the next session, which is based on this same practice, and we're going to do the Chenrezig practice. And Abby, would you take this? Hold on just a minute. Okay, take that. Now, Chenrezig is Vajrasattva, but Chenrezig functions in what we call the lotus family. Vajrasattva is Chenrezig functioning in the Vajra family. So each of these deities function in 5 different aspects or purifications of emotional tendency. So the one we were dealing with Vajrasattva is primarily dealing with the abusive nature of aversion or anger or hatred, rage, and decisiveness and all of that. Vajrasattva, that's the Vajra family. That's their specialty. But each family deals with the 72,000 emotional conflicts of the mind, of which produce 84,000 different karmic tendencies, which we carry forward from life to life in various emotional programs, such as the celestial realms of the religions, including Buddhism, or the war and war god realms, or the human and animal realm, or the deprived spirit world, lower demonic spirit world. But regardless of how we do this, Chenrezi's function is to clear all of that fast. The basis of loving kindness and compassion, of course, are understood throughout all of these practices. But I'm going to give you a little story about Chenrezi that was taught to me by my teacher, Kalo Rinpoche. And it was Chenrezi helping a young 15-year-old girl in Tibet who had been abandoned by her lover, by her husband, in such a state that she didn't have a home, she didn't have any support, she didn't have food, and most of all, she was heartbroken because her husband, or lover, however you want to think about that, had abandoned her. And her teacher, a local Lama, found her in this state, and he said, well, in Tibet, we depend, when things are in really terrible situations, dire strait, on our deities. And he said the most powerful is Chenrezi. So why don't you seclude yourself and ask for guidance or support from Chenrezi and say his mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. So she did that, and after a while, the deity actually appeared. Now, when we say appearances, we mean in the mind or actually. Imaginary and actual are inseparable, but it's karma. And this particular girl had done practice in previous lives, so she had this good spiritual karma. This is what Chenrezi said to her. Kind woman, kind lady, listen. Your kindest pairs from ages past, these 6 types of creatures, called sentient beings, are all our mothers. Even though they only wish for pleasure, whatever acts they cause, they fail to gather that. Even though they do not want to suffer, they clinch their fate by holding fast to negative activities of their body, speech, and mind. These deluded ones, poor creatures called sentient beings, know not what to adopt or to abandon. Life's pursuits are never wholly finished. This human life is wasted running around. Hoarding wealth leads but to grief and sorrow. The struggles of poor and pain abound everywhere. The mighty suffer to preserve their status and holding. The meek are sad. their service undervalued. Friends are never grateful for your favors, and enemies are rarely punished justly. Children mischief irritates their parents, and lice of livestock and other belongings leads to poverty. Grievance and slanders are distressing. Deaf ears are turned to sensible advice. Tasty food, imagined in the mind, when in the mouth, is really that nice. Insulting words of cruelty are hurtful. Obnoxious cohorts are pain to bear, but without them, life is lonely. Betrayed by a friend is disappointing. To be turned from beloved ones, as in your case, causes extreme sadness and woe. Parting from a source of joy brings being sadness, and grief ensues from meeting with the enemy. Loss of business profits is a hassle. Afflictions by illness and disease cause pain and suffering. Indeed, there are never true contentments. This is an underlying cause that permeates all the realms, called discontent. If love and trust in yourself, even with practice, you can't sustain, and so forth. Now, this story and this talking with this girl goes on for 4 more pages. And it describes exactly in detail what the whole human race is enduring today, right now, globally. So we do Genrezi. We know that thousands and thousands of humans are getting sick and dying. We know that. We know that the planet is shut down. We know that. And the cause of pain and suffering to 8 billion humans is unimaginable. But each and every one of us are in some way, shape, or form getting a little bit of what this total situation is like. And what is the point? The point is we must be totally responsible, not only for ourselves, but every living sentient being and the environment around it. This kindness and consideration that we extend to these limitless sentient beings and to our environment is absolutely necessary. And in this world, nobody escapes. Everybody dies. Everybody has pain and suffering. And so what does the name that Genrezi give this world? Endurance. That's what the Tibetan word for samsara, which is emotional involvement, calls this universe we live in. Specifically this planet, because that's all we know. So we're doing Genrezi. And the whole purpose is to not only remove the pain and suffering and negative tendencies, as we were practicing with Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, but also to alleviate in some way in our situation and the immediate world around us, the pain and suffering that is taking place. And this is the only way that we could come to tolerate this situation and maybe start to fix it. And under Chenrezi's picture, I'm going to put Vajrasattva with the Vajrasattva mantra here, and the sound of Chenrezi Shri as being inseparable. So purifying our own tendencies in our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual situation is absolutely necessary, and extending loving kindness and compassion to all beings who are in the same situation, the same worldly situation that we are, is absolutely necessary. We start by visualizing the Lama in front, merging into us with the three lights of our body, speech, and mind come together in the heart center. Om Ahum produces the Shri. The Shri is a state of discerning awareness of the lotus family, which affects our intelligence and helps to clarify the tendencies of emotional involvement that are harmful to ourselves, others, and the environment, and at the same time give us more power to produce positive effects in this life. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Shri. So we connect to the Lama in front, the Lama comes into us, we become Chenrezi. With the body, speech, and mind in the same place, we extend emanations of our karmic connection to our mother in front, and then all relatives, lovers, friends, adversaries, everybody we have karma as this deity. And ourselves and all sentient beings, our parents, we extend this to the whole human race of 8 billion humans. And then all the animal world in the ocean and on the land. We create this mandala in our mind and extend it to the universe around it. And then we include all of the spirit, 4 categories of spirits that pervade the whole universe, in us and around us, everywhere. Chenrezi. So this deity, with this mantra and this seed level, is the practice. The Shri is a state of complete clarity, intelligence, and voidness, compassion, power, and insight. This is the lotus family realm of Amitabha Buddha. So when we do this practice, that's what we're purifying, this worldly situation that is enveloping all of us today. This is our approach to treat the cause, not the symptoms, the cause. And each and every one alleviating the suffering and pain of all this in our own situation alleviates it in everyone else. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, 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 Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, 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 Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, 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 Om mani padme hum. Breathe. Then all sentient beings dissolve into you. All the spirit world Shenrei into you. All the animal world Shenrei into you. All the human world Shenrei into you. You as the central figure dissolve into the heart mantra. The heart mantra dissolves into the tree. The five-colored sphere of light that surrounds the tree becomes the rainbow of the universe. These five colors of the five Buddha families everywhere, to all the celestial realms, war and war god realms, deprived spirit world, demon spirit world, and all the planets where animals and humans take birth. And all that's left is the clear light of your own mind, symbolized by the Buddha, Amitabha. So we're going to say that mantra, but not visualize the Buddha, but just the mind clear like the sky on a sunlit day with no cloud. Om Amitabha Deva Hri, 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 Om Amitabha Deva Hri. Then we just simply relax in our own heart mind as a state of infinite clear light. with infinite rainbows everywhere, inside, outside. The simplicity of this is to just stay to the present timeless moment. Of your unconditional mind. And keep this formless, non-judgmental state of mind in dealing with the extreme conditions that each and every one of us are experiencing day to day on Mother Earth. And we dedicate the merit of tonight's practice to the well-being and enlightenment of all sentient beings, our Mother. Ewa di nurdu da, chagya champo jugerne, drova chinking malu pa, te sala goparsho, sanjay kusu nempai jemla dong, choni megur nempai jemla dong, gendu miche dumpai jemla ki, jitar goma, hotma, ju, bar, sho. By this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, may I quickly establish every sentient being in this state. By the blessings of the three bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma itself being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha being unwavering, may this and all dedication prayers, aspiration prayers, and Tashi prayers be fulfilled and accomplished. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. May all sentient beings be happy, free of suffering, and through our practice established in bliss and emotional stability. Yushijay and much aloha. Thank you very much. Mahalo. And this weekend we do practice at the stupa and dedicate all of that to dealing with this worldly situation. Each of you are in retreat, so you do as much spiritual practice as you can during this auspicious time.